Well, it's that time of year again. All the lights and Christmas trees and wreaths and garlands and swags and red bows have suddenly appeared all over Cape Cod. Have you noticed this? You have noticed. They're on front doors, they're on front yards, they're on fence posts, in windows, in businesses, on town greens. And I was especially impressed the other day going by a home with a huge light display. It was not in Orleans. Anyone here from Dennis? Okay, good. Okay, so I'm okay. And across the length of the home's roof, big cursive letters, several feet tall, spelling the word "believe!" exclamation mark. It's hard to know exactly what was intended. What are we to believe or believe in? But it made a statement nonetheless. And yesterday, right here in our church building, a wonderful group of federated members and friends gathered to transform not just our sanctuary, but the whole building. We're an Advent wonderland. And I thank you, Flower Committee and others. Can we give you a nice hand, Flower Committee and others? Thank you. But not to be too much of a Scrooge, but I must admit this year that I haven't quite been ready for all the seasonal display. It just seems to be a bah humbug time for a lot of us in our lives and in the world. And so the decorations, all of a sudden just popping up, almost seem like an unwanted intrusion. But then I was going down 6A and passed what felt like a very long section without any decorative bows or greenery, just seasonally barren marshland and a surprisingly long row of homes devoid of any ornamentation. It just seemed empty and unexpectedly unsettling. Then after a while, the roadside decorations began to appear over here and over there on both sides of 6A, and my heart started to feel a bit more uplifted. And I realized that all of these festive displays, the trees, the wreaths, the lights, at this time of year, in particular, when the hours of darkness are greater than the hours of light, and in a time when so many of us feel so challenged, and a time when as a nation we feel so challenged, all of these decorative expressions, they are reminders of hope. They are signs of hope. Hope. It's a very small, one-syllable word, with a meaning that can be as elusive as it is broad. And yet, hope, it is one of those words that we probably all yearn for the most, because hope comes and it goes. Hope comes and it goes. It has an ebb and flow, a bit like the tides that we see daily on Skaka Beach and Nauset Beach. The tide flows in and flows out, so also with hope. It comes and it goes. Hope comes. You hear the good news. There's to be a wedding in your family, or you are overjoyed. A new grandchild is about to be born. And so this year, Christmas is a celebration. But hope goes. There are relationship struggles in your life or in your family, maybe even relationship endings. And you wonder, how are we ever going to get through Christmas? Hope comes. Good news of health for you or someone you love. An exciting transition in your life or in the life of a loved one. Perhaps a loved one has finally gotten into recovery. Christmas is a time for celebration. But then hope goes. Health challenges for you or a loved one are looming. The transitions that you or your family are facing are overwhelming. You've experienced a great loss during the year. You're still recuperating from it. And maybe there's a loved one in your family who cannot break the addiction to drugs and alcohol. How will you get through Christmas? Hope comes. The hard work you've been doing for the sake of God's justice and love in the world seems to be yielding fruit. New coalitions of justice are forming because of your work. More people are committed to bringing love and justice to refugees, to people of color, to the poor. The world, in some places, is awakening to climate change, and more people want to heal and restore the earth. Yes, Christ's light is being born at Christmas. But hope goes. New local and national policies keep on getting passed, and they're diametrically opposed to justice and peace. And even the church, that is the church with a capital C, the wider church, sometimes seems to question whether justice is a part of God's love. And so at Christmas you wonder, is all your work of faith in vain? Is it really worth it to keep on trying to promote God's love? The forces against it seem so strong. So what about your lives? What is it? How is hope coming for you right now? Or how is it going? Well, here's the thing. You're not alone. You see, this same tension of hope coming and going is what pervades Isaiah's text today, which pervades his reading. Hope goes. The people are filled with despair. They ask, has God abandoned them? Is God angry? Is God hiding from them? But you see, Isaiah says, hope does come. Tear the heavens and come down, O God, the people cry aloud. You are the potter, O God, we are the clay. We are the work of your hands, so please, O God, consider us because we are your people. Hope is a matter of faith. And so here's a definition I'd like to try out on you. Hope enables you to carry on with a sense of possibility, even when everything seems to be impossible. Hope enables you to carry on with a sense of possibility, even when everything else says it is impossible. And this is the great promise of Advent, isn't it? That we carry on with possibility amidst impossibility, because an act of love so extraordinary and so beyond our human imagining is coming our way and will be born on Christmas. And what is it? That God is coming as a vulnerable, innocent child to take on all the forces in our lives and in the world that oppose love. So hope enables you to carry on with a sense of possibility, even when everything seems impossible. You know, Isaiah is a wonderful poet. I love the book of Isaiah. I encourage you to read it. And he didn't just write those words from Isaiah 64, chapter 64, but just a few chapters earlier. And these are words that pertain to the same time in history. He writes some other words. Now, this is kind of a preview of other coming attractions for next year Advent, right? Glenn and I already had a conversation about next year, but I just want to do a little highlight. So if you're listening to Handel's Messiah, how many of us listen to Handel's Messiah during Advent? I listen to it over and over again. And this year, this is the bit that has just jumped off the recording, off the libretto, off the page for me. And it's when the bass first sings. It's actually not called a recitative, it's called an accompagnato. It's very slow, drawn out, very rhythmic. And this is what is sung. And this is from the 60th chapter of Isaiah, that same Isaiah who wrote the words we heard today. For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and great darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee. In other words, the Lord shall arise upon you, and God's glory shall be seen upon you. The darkness of our lives may be overwhelming. The darkness of our love and justice and peace work may be overwhelming, but hope lives. Hope lives, and God will rise upon you, and you will see God's glory if you persist with hope. You see, hope comes and hope goes, and it's been that way for a very long time. In the Oxford English Dictionary, the earliest instance of the use of the English word hope is from the year 1225, 800 or so years ago. And this is how it was, even back then. In silence and in hope shall be our strength. In silence and in hope shall be our strength. May it be so. Amen.